Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for this opportunity to rise and support this particular report and motion by the Labour Committee. And please allow me, Mr. Speaker, to join my colleagues in wishing the Catholics a happy Ash Wednesday as they start their Lent season. I'm not so sure, but I think Ramadan is also has also started or is starting, so I also wish our brothers a happy Ramadan. Mr. Speaker, sir, I am half-hearted, just like Senator Wambua. I am half-hearted of what to say about the recommendations in this particular petition that had been sought by former KCC employees, Mr. Speaker, because first, this is an extremely sad case and situation. It is, and I want to correct Senator Wambua, who actually said that the wait was a 20-year wait. It's actually not a 20-year wait. This is the 22nd year since KCC was transferred, or the assets of KCC were transferred to the new KCC, Mr. Speaker. And looking at the recommendations that have been made by the Labour Committee, with tremendous respect to the chair, the committee members, and every senator who is in this house, Mr. Speaker, I actually feel that the prayers that have been sought by the petitioners have honestly not been addressed by the recommendations that have been made by the committee. They have made 4 recommendations, Mr. Speaker, and the only one which actually attempts to resolve and answer the prayer is recommendation A, and I'll read, Mr. Speaker. The Cabinet Secretary, Ministry of Cooperative and Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises Development fast-tracks the workings of the Interministerial Committee to validate the claims and develop a concrete time-bound settlement plan for the former KCC employees and provide monthly reports to the committee until the matter is resolved. Mr. Speaker, this just looks like the recommendations that were made by the Court of Appeal when they were overturning the decision of the lower court, the Labour Committee, Mr. Speaker, that had actually granted the prayers of the petitioners to, Mr. Speaker, pay the dues that were owed, or rather that are owed to the former employees of the KCC, Mr. Speaker. In the recommendations that were made by the Court of Appeal was that the Attorney General should, and I don't know, Mr. Speaker, the consultations here are quite loud. I know
Majority Whip, you are really intercepting the thinking of the Honorable Senator for Nyandaro. His flow of mind is not commensurate to what he is trying to put on paper.
Yeah, and I know, Mr. Speaker, Senator Legwe is my neighbor and my leader. And I always tell him that if he disrupts me here, if I close the road to Olkalau, Senator Legwe cannot get to Samburu. He has only one route to go to Samburu, so he must align. So, Mr. Speaker, as I was actually, yeah, and he doesn't like flying, so he has no route of going to Samburu if I cross the road through Olkalau. So, Mr. Speaker, as I was actually saying, the recommendations of the Court of Appeal were that the
Senator Methu, kindly request the 3 senators who are actually between me and you contributing should take their seats. Senator Relengwe, kindly. The clerks will sort your issue. Senator Relengwe. Amom was now seeing also the Director Rugo is out of order. Senator Relengwe, please have your seat. Senator Methu.
And I don't know, Speaker, whether it is correct. Okay, let me say it as a point of information. He actually doesn't like not being referred to minus his title. He's Senator Dr. Lelegwe. Yeah, so he tells me to keep calling him doctor. Mr. Speaker, the recommendations of the Court of Appeal, and I'm looking for them on this report because they have been made here, were that the Attorney General ought to advise the government to honor its word and pay the former employees who have suffered for a long time. Mr. Speaker, I'm actually very surprised that this 3-judge bench actually observed that these workers have suffered for a long time, but they went ahead and just make a recommendation. This recommendation was not binding. And I understand where Senator Murgo and his committee were actually getting a handicap, because you are overturning this decision, but you're not offering solution. This decision was made in 2018. The decision of the Court of Appeal was actually arrived at in 2018. That is now a total of 8 years to this minute, and nothing has actually happened, because had these people been paid, as was the recommendation, and you know, Mr. Speaker, people go to court to get a determination. And when we get this kind of recommendation, Mr. Speaker, they are ambiguous, and they cannot be effected, Mr. Speaker. And we are staring at an extremely precarious situation, Mr. Speaker, by the mere fact, Mr. Speaker, that since this particular regime came into power, you know, the issue of privatization is actually a live matter. There is even a privatization, either a privatization committee or privatization commission. I'm not sure, but I think there is one. Yeah, it's a privatization commission that is supposed to look at the government parastatals that can actually be privatized. And so therefore, we are staring at a situation where workers who have actually served and worked, deductions have been made on their salaries. They have made contributions to their circles, Mr. Speaker. Just assume that, for example, KICC is being privatized, is being given to a new proprietor, Mr. Speaker, and the new proprietor would just take all the other obligations apart from these dues that are owed by the workers, Mr. Speaker, and their personal contributions, Mr. Speaker. Because when new KCC was formed from the receivership that was under KCB, Mr. Speaker, they were able to pay the farmers. They paid all the other monies that were owed to the banks, Mr. Speaker. They paid all the other suppliers. The only people who are not paid, Mr. Speaker, are their former employees, Mr. Speaker, which is an extremely sad situation, Mr. Speaker, that they have had to wait for 22 years, Mr. Speaker. As I come to winding up, Mr. Speaker, let me also mention, I have seen, and I was just thinking in my mind, recommendation number 4, Senator Murgo and your committee. I have seen that recommendation number 4 is that the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission and the Directorate of Criminal Investigation, within 6 months of tabling of this report, investigates mismanagement and fund misappropriation by former KCC directors, particularly the 400 million loan that caused the company's collapse. Mr. Speaker, that recommendation on the face of it looks very flowery. But I'm wondering how that recommendation can actually be implemented, Mr. Speaker. I don't even know, because 2004 is not the other day. I actually just remembered that I think 2004, I must have been a class 5 boy. So I'm wondering, Mr. Speaker, 22 years later, after the committing of this crime, is when we are asking EACC to investigate, Mr. Speaker. Are these people actually even alive? Are these directors who are directors of new KCC 2004 actually alive so that we can investigate them, Mr. Speaker? Is this money is this a recommendation actually that can be effected? How come, Mr. Speaker, a crime was committed 22 years ago, and not even the labor court where the employees first went to in 2013, not even the Court of Appeal made this recommendation. This recommendation is being made at the Senate in, I think today is the 18th, on the 19th of February 2026, Mr. Speaker. This is 22 years later, is when we are recommending that directors of old KCC are now investigated by EACC, Mr. Speaker, 22 years later. I'm surprised, Mr. Speaker. I'm actually wondering in my mind whether these directors are actually still alive, so that we can because if they are dead, Mr. Speaker, I don't think they can be actually investigated. However, Mr. Speaker, since we must try and cure this challenge, because it's a major challenge, I want to agree with the recommendations that have been made by the committee, especially the recommendation on the amendment of the Transfer of Business Act, Mr. Speaker. This must be something that we must consider, because we are the people who have been tasked with the responsibility of ensuring that we make our laws better, That is our work, Mr. Speaker. Every day we come here, Mr. Speaker, is to make the lives of the people of Kenya better, Mr. Speaker. It must be recommended, and we must move an amendment, Mr. Speaker, that as you move, as you transfer a business, Mr. Speaker, as you transfer all the other financial obligations that you are transferred to the new business, Mr. Speaker, one key component that must be considered, number one, is the contribution of employees, and number two is their pension. And for those who qualify for, I know that one has actually evaporated. The one that is given for employees that are on contract. I remember it, Mr. Speaker. But contributions that have been made, Mr. Speaker, on your, the ones that have been made, you have been making every month, Mr. Speaker, it cannot be that you have served an institution for 10 years, 15 years. Then it is transferred to a new person. The new person says that I don't know where you're contributing. I can't pay your pension. I can't pay your dues, Mr. Speaker. This is an extremely sad and something that must be looked into. Finally, it is the receivership regulations, because this challenge that we're having of these new KCC workers, Mr. Speaker, is birthed out of the receivership that KCC underwent through KCB, Mr. Speaker, because it is KCB which sold the assets of KCC to new KCC, Mr. Speaker. As they were selling the assets, Mr. Speaker, all the other issues, Mr. Speaker, of the financial obligations that the old KCC actually carried were not transferred to the new KCC, Mr. Speaker. They only transferred the debts of the farmers, the debt owed to the banks, Mr. Speaker, the debt owed to all the other suppliers, Mr. Speaker. But the contributions by employees, Mr. Speaker, is something that actually that got lost along the transfer. Maybe finally, and I know I'll run at a very, very, very immediate risk from the people on my right. This money, in my opinion, Mr. Speaker, is not a lot of money. And I know most of my colleagues have actually spoken about it. This money, 109 million, Mr. Speaker, that are terminal dues owed to employees, Mr. Speaker, I think it's not a lot of money. Looking at how our government is spending money, looking at the endowment of how the government dishes and gives money, Mr. Speaker, forget about the money that is in the mainstream budget, Mr. Speaker. If you look at the activities that are happening in State House every day, Mr. Speaker, and the kind of money that is spent there every day, Mr. Speaker, if you look at how the budgets of State House, the Office of the President, how the budgets are growing, Mr. Speaker, 109 million is little money. Is very, very little money. This is money that the President can actually give in a day. If he can give to a church 50 million one day, how much would it cost him to just give this money to people who have served this country so diligently, who have waited for 22 years after serving this nation, Mr. Speaker? We cannot just be supporting mediocrity, and when important and critical expenditures come, Mr. Speaker, we have to take people through now the labor court, Mr. Speaker, next the Court of Appeal, Mr. Speaker, now they are here in the Senate, Mr. Speaker, looking at the recommendations. There is no clear and concrete resolution that we have made that looks like they can get this money next week, next year. The kind of thing that has been recommended here, Mr. Speaker, if you have read it, is that interministerial report will be coming here until we get a concrete resolution for the next 6 months. That's what has been recommended here, Mr. Speaker. So it is another forum of waiting. They'll have to keep waiting a little longer. I don't know how old those people would be, but assuming they were sacked at 40 years, they are now at 62. So in the next 10 years, they will be 70, they will be almost exiting. I want to stop there, Mr. Speaker. I support the report.
Honorable Senators, you know, I've listened keenly to members contributing to this motion, and it looks like members are not happy with the recommendations. So, you know, this motion is a property of the House, of the Senate. So instead of still lamenting and being so unhelpful to yourself and to these workers, KCC workers, still you can recommend, and the committee will be agreeable to the recommendations, as long as they sit well with also the deliberations. and still recommend, give further recommendations, because that is why we are here. Not to lament, not to cry, not to weep, but to give solutions to Kenyans. So the chairman is here, he is also recording your recommendations. You can still further go and do more recommendations which are acceptable to the House. So next is Senator Gicheru Andy.
I thank you, Mr. Speaker, for this opportunity. Mr. Speaker, it is very important that today the Muslim faith is starting their Ramadan. Therefore, it makes it an holy month for a swath of majority of our people in the country, as well as the month of Lent to the Catholic faith. And therefore, you get that most of our people today in the country are in a very religious and spiritual mode for the month. And this is a month that you would expect that good things happen to good people, and good things also happen to bad people, because God is a God of everyone. And I want to wish the Christians who are of Catholic faith the very best of this month, as well as my brothers in the Islamic faith, the very best in this Ramadan, as they say, Ramadan Kareem. Mr. Speaker, in the spirit of that, it is extremely sad, Mr. Speaker, that employees of former KCC, that worked up to 1997 to date have not been paid their dues. Mr. Speaker, between 1997 when KICC became defunct and then we add this new KCC, Mr. Speaker, you will get that between that 1997 and now, many things have happened in this country. We have gone, in 1997 we had a general election, we had a different president at that time.